Yes, and it's SheCoder. Right. Welcome to the show. I think I've been trying to get you to come up on my YouTube channel for a long time. I'm pretty sure about that. But yeah, I think you're going to come at another stage where we're going to discuss women in tech. But in this one, I just want us to talk about the swag itself, because I also saw the video that you made with the with the swag from their event. So I'm really interested in knowing what kind of swag you had. And honestly, I want to understand how you got to a point where you filled up a whole suitcase of swag. Because if I was at the event and I want to fill up a suitcase with swag, I think I would be a bit shy at some point. So I just walk out with maybe two or three three items
And
from the swag.
understandably so.
So I think before we even know who you are, what you do, I think just tell me a bit how you managed to come up with all that swag in a full suitcase. Were you were you at the event with the suitcase, or perhaps maybe you were residing at the same location of the event itself?
Okay, so the event was just right across the hotel that I was staying at. And also I should mention that I did not get all the stuff in one day. So the expo was opened on Monday, and so I managed to get everything in 3 days because on Tuesday I did not go there, so I did not get anything else. But on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, that's when I got everything that I wanted. And yeah, so but of course, on some days I had bags in both hands, so it was still like a lot. But
Yeah.
the good thing is that the venue was right across, of course, a distance, but still it was much better. So it was manageable. That's how I managed to get everything. And I did not go there with a suitcase. So some companies were giving me like bags, so I would just load everything else in those bags. And also AWS had these disposable bags that I was having, and I was just using them like to get whatever I want, and then load them in the bags, and yeah, just carry them.
All right. So how long was the event for?
It
Was
was
it?
for 5 days,
Oh
from
wow, a whole
Monday
week.
till Friday. Yes, the whole
Yeah.
week. So
And you
I
attended
prepared.
all those 5 days?
Yes, all 5 full days. On most of the days, I was getting into sessions. So it was divided into like a million types, the sessions or the activities that were there, I should say. Some were in the form of speeches, some were hackathons, and then we had interactive sessions. We had, so there were pretty much like a lot. So you had to pick which ones you wanted. Overall, there were over 3,000 sessions that were happening throughout the week, and you had to just pick those that you were interested in. And although I did not manage to get like everything that I wanted, but I still managed to get some. So I just decided to have the morning attend something, say the interactive sessions, and then in the afternoon I would just go out and see what was happening, especially at the expo. So about the expo, it was like a big hall where all the other companies were there. I was losing track of time really, so I was just leaving the place just because I'm tired. I've walked from like a long time. Although now it was at the same place, but then it was still huge for me. And yeah, but the good thing is that before they give you the squad, you had to interact with them. Now, my initial plan was for me to just learn about what they were doing. But then, if they're giving you something in return, why not?
Yeah, yeah, and I think there are a lot of items that you were showing in your video, but then now I get it that okay, it makes sense that it's most likely that you interacted with so many companies and so many
Yes.
people there. That's why you got so much swag. Out of all
Yes.
the swag that you managed to collect, I know you had those beer cases where they keep your beer cold. You said you don't take beer, so those ones were going to steal. But which ones were the best and the worst swag items? Now, the worst, I don't mean the worst as in bad, but when you look at them, which one was the swag that you can say, this one I'm going to be using a lot? And then there's another swag, maybe you can say, this swag, I'll probably be using it once in a while, or maybe not at all. out of all the swag items that you have?
Of the items that I have, the best ones are the hoodies, the one that I'm wearing, and the jacket. I also had another hoodie, but then I did not show it in the other video. I must have lost it somewhere. And also, I love the caps and some of the bags, like the waist bags. Those are my favorites. The worst ones, like the ones that I'm not going to be using, like the one that you already mentioned, that is going to be giving your beer cold. So I do not like cold stuff. I'm more of hot beverages, so obviously I'm not going to be needing those. That's also why I do love these, the more cups and all the stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, the other things are, I think I had a few little clashes that I don't really think I'm going to be using. But then again, when I was getting them, I wasn't just getting them for the sake of it. I do have a community of which we do have like we interact with secondary school kids and also primary school kids. So I had those people in mind. Say we are going to be having different activities where maybe say competitions and whatnot. So I'll be glad to use them as something that they're going to be winning. And yeah, so I think those are the two. Otherwise, the rest of them they're okay. Oh, and also t-shirts. I don't think I'm going to be using them, all of them. I mean, I do love t-shirts, but not all of them.
Yeah. So it seems a lot of companies have swag, and it's something that we know. I think it's a culture out there that these tech companies, they have so much swag. You have
Yes.
the flasks, you have hats, you have hoodies and everything. How do companies stand out with the swag? How do they use the swag to stand out among other companies? And is it something that would say in a developing country as Malawi, is this something that as a startup, it's something we can also adopt? And would it work out for us? Would we be going at tech events and give out our swag as well? And would it help us get known out there as a startup?
Yes.
Yeah.
But let me start with the first question. How do they stand out? So I think from what I noticed, the basic ones are t-shirts, pairs of socks. Oh, I also got like a lot of socks. So pairs of socks, and so you would actually know that if I go to the expo, I'm coming out with at least one pair of socks and a t-shirt. So those ones, obviously, you're not going to be standing out because people already have a lot of those. So you need something else. At least the flask you're going to be using, you're going to be drinking maybe your hot coffee, your tea, or whatever. And then there are some who had cool stuff. Like maybe I know some had drones, some had MacBooks, some had iPads. Oh, you're lost.
Yeah.
Now you're back.
No, I think I must have pressed something. Yeah, but I could hear you. So continue. Some have
Oh,
drones and
okay.
some have iPads. Okay, the iPads that branded iPads on iPads
Some
branded with the
some were actually branded with their logos and some were not. But I also like to think of it like if you're going to get something from a company as big as an iPad or as big as a laptop, you're going to know that you are going to remember that company forever. You
yeah.
know, it's unlike when you have a T-shirt, you just see their logo, which is there. Maybe you're going to forget the name, what's going to happen, or whatever. Because I assure you, 98% of the companies that I met there, I've never even heard of them. But because of I look at the swag and then I remember, oh, I got this.
Did you get any swag that was a gadget or any electronic?
I think the ones that I got, like I did not have a drone, I did not get an iPad, I did not get an iPhone 16, I did not come back home
Oh,
with that.
not even a USB flash drive. Whoa, we don't use flash drive these days, but none.
But at least I got this.
What is that?
So this,
Nice.
and I know they're from Circle CI. Trust me, before I went there, I didn't even know that there was a thing called Circle CI, but I
Yeah.
got
And
and
how do
I
they
remember
sound?
them.
That.
Yeah.
They're good.
So I do. That's what I'm trying to say. That if you give out something that people are going to be using like frequently, people that they are going to really relate to the thing, and well, a T-shirt I'm going to wear it and then forget, but something like this is going to give you like a lasting impression.
Yeah.
And then I also got the automatic stand, like the phone stand. This one 360. Okay, it's also the one that I'm actually using right now.
How is it
So
automatic?
the one that is going to be detecting your face and then just moving 360.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that is
And
good.
aside that, I think the other thing that I got is a power bank. Well, we do
Okay.
have light problems, so a power
Yeah.
bank is handy. And yeah, I think other things that really made an impression is a tripod stand, which I had always wanted, and I think that's it.
All right. Yeah.
And now the other question that you asked for us
Yeah. How
as a
can we
developing
adopt it
country, how can
in
we
Malawi,
adopt
in
it?
other developing countries?
So the first thing that I'm going to say is that um, it's
Of course.
expensive to.
Maybe at least we can try the swag for the t-shirts. I think we can.
Yes, the
That we can
t-shirts,
manage. Yeah.
the t-shirts, bags, and maybe hoodies. They're also at least affordable. But some other things, maybe if you're talking about electronics, it's going to be too costly.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can adopt it right now, but like I said, it's expensive, but it doesn't mean that it's not doable. Um, it's necessary for companies to actually do that because people are going to remember once they receive things. And unlike if you're going to be making speeches, say, you have the microphone and then start telling people that, oh, I do ABCD, I do this and that. Our company will help you solve these problems. Well, those that are interested are going to listen and they maybe remember you, but then
Yeah.
there are some of us who you might not directly at the time um, impact our problems or try to give us the solutions that your companies are doing. So that's why the SWOT comes in handy. And then we're going to be remembering because trust me, like I think I've said this several times in just these minutes, yeah, that it's a lasting impression. You're going to remember them once you see that thing. And
Yeah.
unlike a conversation that people are always having conversations all the time. If you're attending a lot of conferences, if you're attending a lot of meetings, if you're attending a lot of these other events, things are just going to be going into your head. And it's like you are suppressing the other things. If you're just learning about the things that they're doing, say from the talks, it's just going to be there.
Is it my network or yours? I think we lost you there. We're talking about the swag. I think how we can adopt it in Malawi, in developing
Oh,
countries. I think you've explained on that as well. Yeah, but the event itself, since you mentioned of multiple companies, because the swag was from AWS itself and other companies. What's the event really about? Is it about companies who use Amazon products or?
no, it's about cloud computing, the services that
Mm,
you use when you're, well, on the cloud.
yeah.
But
Okay.
in this case, we were focusing more on Amazon Web Services.
Yeah.
So it's just about cloud computing with a focus on AWS, but you can practically talk about other things because these tech companies they were also trying to align themselves with the cloud computing stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
How did you continue?
it's not just for those that are using AWS as a service. So it's pretty much for everyone that is using the cloud.
All right. How did you get to the event? I've been seeing it, but I think I've never even had the interest to apply for it because once, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, I've checked out the event requirements. So I've seen that tickets are probably 2000 or $3,000. So I've never even had the interest to try out to go there. But seeing you go there and come back, I just wanted to understand, how did you get the opportunity to go there? Was it something that you wanted to and then you got sponsorship or you funded yourself? Or is it something that there was maybe your employer or partners that are working on something with you and they thought, well, this is going to be interesting and you should go? Tell us about that. How did you get there?
First of all, I love all things technology and I love conferences and all that. I'm not so much into cloud, or I should, yeah, I think that is the right phrase that I should say. I'm a developer, but then again, I have to know or understand cloud computing, the cloud technologies and whatnot. That's where now I have to know the basics at least of AWS. It's also something that I have always wanted to understand and also just be able to be using like that, like frequently like that, but I have never really found how I can go about it. So I was busy looking for my way around that, how I can make myself knowledgeable a lot in that space. So that's when I found this. Well, I told my friend about it that I was trying to get into AWS. I was just trying to be working with their products and services and all those things. So now my friend sent me the link to this event, which was way out of my budget. But the good thing is that because, like you said, for the conference alone is about $2,000. Now, for an average Malawian like myself, please, I cannot do that. But the good thing is that they do give you. I was there on a full scholarship sponsorship. Everything was covered for me, and I was just there with my head like just looking forward to. So they also told us before we went there. They also told us to have an empty bag because we're going to have a lot of swag coming back. So the only thing that I
That's
went
why
there.
that's why you took a whole suitcase with you.
Yes. So when I was going there, the only thing, my only worry was about the empty suitcase, nothing else. I wasn't
And
worried about where I was going to sleep, what I was going to be eating, how I'm going to get there because everything was funded, fully funded by Amazon Web Services, the company now. So this program is called All Builders Welcome Grant. They give to those that are in early as a whole, and also they are trying to get into cloud computing. At least you don't have to have over 5 years experience, but even if you don't have experience you are still eligible because their aim is to expose as many people as possible to cloud computing. And also, if you are going to be using AWS services, then that's also much better because, I mean, they are your sponsors, so you have to at least give them that. But so the program is basically to help the builders that are just starting out in their careers in the cloud spaces. That's how I got into it. So the application is basically very simple and very easy. I found it in July. I think that's the time that I was that should be the time frame that I saw it. But unfortunately, it was a day before the closing of the deadline, so I failed to share it. And yeah, so I think that is the time that you should be looking out for it in July, August, thereabout. And then the questions are really simple and easy. They just want to find out how far along you're going into the industry, your knowledge in cloud, your knowledge about AWS, and also, yeah, why you want to attend the event, why they should sponsor you. I mean, this was should be the basics why you should, and you should have good reasons because you cannot say, oh no, I want this swag. At least if you should think of things like how the whole event is going to impact your life and your career, how you're going to help other people to also get into the spaces and whatnot. So those are the things that they do ask, and also what I would suggest or advise that you should consider when applying. And yeah, also just consider being honest. Yeah, I don't know if I've forgotten something else, but yeah.
yeah, I think that's clear. I think maybe I didn't get the name of the program, the grant. For those who might be looking forward to attending this year's event, what was the name of the grant?
ABW grant, which stands for all.
ABW grant. Ah, okay.
Yeah, so they are like welcoming those that are building.
All right. Okay. So now you've easily gotten the scholarship, the sponsorship by Amazon itself, and everything is okay. Tell us about the first impression when you got there. First of all, where was it for 2024? Where was the event?
Las Vegas.
Yeah, you lived
And
the
now
life.
the questions that you're asking me, I'm tempted to say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But anyway, go on, ask.
No, I'm not going to ask a lot. I just want to know the first impressions. The moment you got to Vegas, you got the venue itself, the people. So I know Vegas from the movies, watched The Hangover and all these wild movies. When you go to
It
Vegas,
is,
it's lights
it is
from day
crazy.
one to the end. So what were your first impressions when you just got there?
But before I respond to this, I've remembered something about the application and also just getting there.
Yeah.
So BW gives you everything else that you need, like the air ticket, the conference pass, meals, accommodation, and whatnot. But you are responsible for your visa. And
Okay.
this, I felt the need to mention this because it's a bit of a hectic process to get the visa as well. But the good thing is that they will give you an invitation letter. So you will be able to include that in your application. And once you get the interview, that's just that. I'm also mentioning this because visas are not free. And if you're looking to get into it, say for 2025, make sure that before the time, or at least you will have the $185 that's needed for the visa between August, September, October, and there. Yeah, I think these 3 months, that's when you are supposed to get your visa and also send them the proof of it so that they give you the air ticket. You cannot have, at least you're going to have your accommodation, you're going to reserve your accommodation before the visa, but they're not going to give you air ticket if you don't have your visa. So it would be a very painful thing for you to actually know that they are going to give you, but you cannot go there before you don't, I mean, because you don't have the visa. But if you start planning for it, at least this is January or February, I would say it's going to make things a lot more easier and smoother if you plan ahead for these things. So
And
yeah.
and getting the journey from Malawi to Las Vegas, how is it like? You went straight to Vegas, or you went to another country and then another state in the US and then Vegas? How was the whole journey? Before you give me the what stays in Vegas element, but how's the journey like from Malawi to that side?
Listen, I already said that what stays in Vegas is going to stay on my Instagram, on my Twitter, on YouTube. Now it's also on your YouTube. It's on my LinkedIn. Everything.
We to prepare that the next time we're going this year, some of us should already be ready for all those amazement that we can find in Las Vegas, because it's Vegas. And for
Yeah, yeah,
somebody from a developing country like Malawi, I can only imagine. Yeah.
yeah. So that was my first time getting out of Africa, and
Wow, you made an interest. This was a good way to leave for the first time, and
yeah,
your
it
first
was
destination being Las Vegas.
exactly. So we don't have direct flights from here to Las Vegas. So from here, I I used Kenya Airways to Maputo, which then from there went to from Kenya. I think the next stop was Paris. I know, I know, but out. But I could not see the Eiffel Tower, which is which me to dead. It
Yeah.
was foggy and it was too cold for me, so I had to go back and well, just waited for my next flight, which went to Minneapolis. That was the first step that I was in, and then I went to Las Vegas. Nevada. I took that was 38 hours in the air.
Yeah.
And 5 flights. Should be 5 flights.
Then
So yeah.
now you're in Vegas. Tell us the first impressions. Tell us the venue. Tell us the people, the atmosphere that side.
Now I'm
How
in
was it like?
Vegas at the airport. It says, "Welcome to Las Vegas." I could not believe the eyes. I was just there with my bag.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was just like, wow. And then the next thing that I saw were gambling machines.
Oh yeah, it's Vegas.
Yeah, it's Vegas. I have like to see a lot of casinos, but I did not expect to see this at the airport. That was like I was just like, wow, wow, you guys, wow.
I need to
But
go there.
anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, you should. It's quite an experience.
I can imagine, yes. I think this is something that we should be making this aware in our communities because, like I said, I've known AWS for years now.
Mhm.
I think maybe 2 years now. I've always had that interest that this place would be fun to attend, but I've never had any
Was.
interest to research to say how can I go there. So with how you did it, that you actually found the application process a day before the deadline and you applied and everything else was smooth, because I would expect that maybe you found it a day before the deadline. Now you applied, you didn't make it. So next year you try again and then you go. So with that experience, I think it's something that we should be making it aware in our community so that other people, especially the aspiring new developers or new tech enthusiasts, can already know and already start planning that, okay, I know I'm in school, but the December, I'm always on holiday. I can already plan for this even while I'm at school. And this is very interesting hearing it from you. I didn't even know you were there until I started seeing some of your footage, mostly on YouTube. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
So before I went there, I have like a lot of content. I thought that I was going to be tweeting about it. I was going to be
Yeah,
posting it on LinkedIn. But guess what? I was too busy. I was so exhausted by the end of the day. I could not even do a recap. I remember I only did like on day one. I was like on day one I did ABCD, and then when I was in day two, I could even forget to get my phone. I remember I think on one of the days I had to go back at lunch hour to get my phone. That was how busy it gets. And yeah, but it's a very good experience. Like you said,
yeah,
we should make these things aware to other people so that we could have like a lot of people attending. Yeah, I think.
yeah. And it's nice because you represented me. And again, I think we didn't jump.
I was
I
the
think we. Oh yeah. So you represented Malawi and you represented women in tech because that's something that you advocate a lot. This is something that those that you, because before this you had already been, and you have the community in kids who are getting into tech. With this experience itself, you have that strong mentorship fellowship, I'd say, that the people you advocate technology to would also see how much you've aspired on your own to try to get to the places that you want. So this is something to me that I want you to keep on preaching until we see at least three more Malawians at the next event. And this should be those that are
not
new in tech, even
not
students.
only three. Three is
Point, but it's something. We had one last year, so at least if we have three this year, it's something. But yeah, preach a lot about this. People people shouldn't be overwhelmed with these things. That it's something that you can easily go for, like the sponsorships. And if you can afford, if your employer send you there, I think it's something that you should go and network. For you, we can't even ask about the networking part because from the swag that you came back with, we know you interacted with.
yeah.
But what are the key lessons that you learned from the event in everything, about maybe as an enthusiast, or if somebody has a startup, anything that you can say personally coming back from the event, this is something that I can say, okay, these are some of the key lessons that I've learned. Is it networking or the gadgets, swag?
Okay. I learned quite a lot. This is one of the biggest lessons that I got. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there or to just jump right into whatever it is that you want. So it was very easy for me to even network. Aside that I do love talking or I love meeting new people, it was still easy for me, especially because you have this badge and then they will usually they will scan it and you about the company that you're working with or where you're coming from. If you do not have or if you don't know how you can start a conversation or you start talking to people, if you just tell them that you're from Malawi, like myself, and then they'll ask me, oh, where is Chipping Limited from? And then I say, from Malawi. That's where I stay. A lot of people are going to ask you either, where is that? Or, wow, that's so far. How long did it take you to get here? So this, wow, that's so far is a given. It's going to be given to you. I mean, they will ask you that. If they don't know where Malawi is, you first of all have to tell them that, oh, it's in the southeastern side of Africa. I don't know about that. I only know about South Africa or any other countries that they know. So you take out your map and then show them it's here, this little pretty country. It's so beautiful, the warm heart of Africa. And then they'll be, that's so far, how long did it take you to get here? And then now you get comfortable and then you start telling them 38 hours later and five flights later, I'm here.
And you tell them this is my first time out of
and this is
Africa.
and this is my first time out of Africa. This is the first place that I actually get to be after I mean in the States. So yeah, I am. So if you're not someone that actually that knows how to network or don't know how to break the ice, I believe that as a Malawian we have that added advantage because people want to get your story or know how you did it. So I had like a lot of people ask me, so how did you find yourself here? So I have to ask them, how much time do you have? Do you have coffee? Do you have somewhere that we should sit? Because I will tell you everything.
You
I will
tell
tell
them
you
everything
everything.
from the month of July to the five flights.
Yes, so they will know. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that networking, people just are just afraid to approach other people, but people are always interested to learn about you, what you do, and hell, they will also offer you opportunities because at the end of the day, people were asking me how I did it, how I found myself there, and a lot of them told me that I was passionate, and which is true, and
Yeah,
that
you are.
they asked me if I had to work for other companies. There were some that actually offered me jobs, not directly, but then they were like, if we scan your badge and then you just apply, I will leave out a note for you that they should look out for your CV or something like that because we are looking for someone that is willing to take initiatives for we're looking for someone that would get the job done. So in as much as maybe you don't have like a lot of experience, but you have proven yourself to do a lot already, so we feel like you're going to be an instrument in our companies and all that. If
Yeah,
they do
and
not offer you that, at least they will give you something else. They will give you advice. They will give you, because when you're networking, you're not just looking for jobs or you're not just looking for you to get something. They are also getting something from you. So they will ask you, oh, well, what I brought to the table, I brought Malawi to the table. So
you didn't know Malawi until I came here. If I didn't
you
come
did
to
not
this,
know Malawi.
yes, if I didn't come to this
And
event, you wouldn't have known Malawi.
the next time someone says they're Falau, you will remember me always. Oh,
Yeah,
I
you go like,
remember the
I met
the
this one
sister
at
at
there.
their event.
And
So yeah.
your journey or how you got yourself to the event. I think even an employer wouldn't really mind about your experience from what you did to get yourself to the AWS event. It's something that an employer or even a partner can see in you that okay, this is a passion and this is something that you really push. You wanted it, and against all odds, you've done it. Especially when you tell them, "I came across this. a day before the deadline?
So it has to be. I came across this before the deadline. When I got
Mm-hmm.
the congratulatory email, I had to start looking for visas. Now in Malawi, they're not offering interviews, so I had to go somewhere else, which was also a process. So I had like a lot of reasons for me to give up, because I remember I had this conversation with one of the ladies that gave me a book,
Yeah.
which I have been reading, the generative AI book, and then she told me to reach out to her for more books or something like that. So yeah, I think once people, it's not always about, when you're networking, it's not always about you talking about your work directly like that, but sometimes just creating that relationship, not personal per se, not also friendship, but well, someone has to know you from
Yeah.
aside this face, aside you saying that you're a developer, aside you saying that you do love tech, but what have you done? It's the same thing with the interview questions, where you're asked like questions for them to determine how well you solve problems or you make decisions and stuff like that. It's what people are looking for. They want to understand who you are, and that if you are given certain opportunities, which could be in the form of money or jobs directly, but there are like a lot of things that you can get from people. So the power of networking, I think that was one of the things that I really got from there. And the other lesson that I got is ask when you don't know things. It was my first time being there, my first time attending an event of that magnitude. It's so huge, I'm telling you. It happens across different convention centers. And these ones, they are nothing like I've seen. Not, I don't even know. Not in Malawi, not anywhere else that I have been. They're big, but one hotel, one center could not manage to hold all the people. I'm saying there are over 3,000 conference, sessions that you have to attend. Of course, happening throughout the week, which means hundreds of them that are happening per day, which are happening simultaneously. So I only managed to go to four of them, the conference, like the venues. I was so tired. I decided to just be in one place. Like, you know what? I'm going to be at the Venetian. I'm not going to go. You were saying, so for example, would in Malawi we would say, if they have the main center, be it at BICC, you also have like a lot of other BICCs that are next to BICC, but these are equally huge. And then you have to be moving across all these sites. So from BICC, you would think of Capital Hotel, you would think of going to the, what's the other one? The Chinese one. That's
Golden
beside.
Peacock.
Yes, you would go to Golden Peacock, and then it was so huge. And then
Yeah.
in all these centers, there are like a lot of sessions. Now, if you're shy, if you don't know how to ask where you have to go, you'll be stuck in one place, and maybe you don't want that. And then maybe you also want to attend certain type of sessions. You don't know who to ask, how to ask, why to ask. You will be attending things that don't really matter to you. There were like a lot of other sessions that I just did not see myself in there. Not that they're not important, but maybe they're for seniors in cloud computing. I'm just a beginner. I only have like a year experience in cloud computing like that. How am I going to know? You're talking about other services that you have to be. And then I was just there, like, especially on the first day, I attended the keynote, which was pretty cool. I learned like a lot of things, the new updates and whatnot, but then I don't know AWS like that for me to understand. I know that they were like really big deal from basic point of view, but I needed to find those sessions that were for my level. At least I have to know to lay the ground. I went to, and the other best thing is that as a recipient of the grant, you are given an alumni who is going to be helping you around, who is going to be able to answer your questions. If she cannot answer the questions for you. She's going to refer you to someone who knows the answers to the questions that you have. I had to go back to her and then tell her, oh no, the sessions that I'm actually looking for are these types. One, women in tech, wants to do with startups, leaderships, and maybe just building. And the other thing is that for the recipients, you are given like some of the interactive ones where you are given people that are going to be talking to you to be taking you through the processes or what you need to know for you to succeed. So I told her that I need these. And then she gave me all the other sessions that I had to be attending. That's why I knew when when I was like day two, I knew what I was going to be doing, where I should go and whatnot. So I did not like waste a lot of time on unnecessary things, like trying to navigate the things on my own. So yeah, I think that's also one thing that I learned in general.
Yeah, from hearing that, it means one of the to come, you're also going to be an alumni that's going to be assigned to somebody who's going to the event for the first time, and you're also going to be like, "Hi, you know what? You should go to
You
this
know,
keynote. You should go to this talk. You should go to
you
this
know,
session."
you know what? Yes, I'd love to.
Yeah,
I've already started the God's work, so
yeah. Well, this is
let's
nice.
just
So
take
with
position now.
with the work of your advocacy, this is great. And I didn't introduce you deliberately because I'm going to bring you in again on another session so that we can talk about you and your uh, women in tech advocacy and software development. But before we drop off, what is a piece of advice or encouragement that you can give to women who are trying to take up space in tech? Either they're just coming in, they've just started, or they're already in it, but they still have those doubts, or they want to change career in all and jump right into tech.
The answer is that they're looking for whether they should do it or not. They will get them once they start. So just start, just get in
Yeah,
there. You will know out after that. There's never a perfect time to say you have to start. Oh no, wait! I'm waiting for the perfect time for me to start in tech, for me to start in cloud, for me to apply for a BW grant. There's
yeah,
never going to be such a time. The perfect time is now. Well, it was
yeah,
yesterday, but the best we can do is now. So just start going and put yourself out there. Once you start, don't be shy. Reach out to people. The worst that they can do is say no to you. Next worst is not responding to you at all. So I
yeah,
don't think these are worst at all. The best that is going to happen is them accepting you or giving you directions. So yeah, take it from the example of me applying a day before the deadline. I was going to say, oh no, I do this. There's a lot of information that they require because this was about midnight and I was quite well, not exhausted, but it was it was bad. And then I would
yeah,
say, no, I also don't have like a lot of knowledge in AWS, so I cannot do this. But then what that could have happened there was them saying, no, you do not qualify at this time.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just go on ahead. You let them be the judge. You don't have to be judging yourself. Do the work and then let someone else take it from there. The other thing that I'm going to say is that join a community. Just have a support that is around you. People know things, and well, you want to get to know things. It's going to be coming from those people that are in the communities. And
yes.
yeah, I think I should just say that for now.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for coming in. I'll I'll host you again in the next video. Women in tech. So SheCoder is a women in tech advocate and a software developer as well. Thank you very much for coming in and have a great day.
Good day to you too. Bye. Thank you for
Bye.
having me.
Thank you.